So hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm doing a story time video. So if you follow me on Twitter and on Instagram, I asked which story time y'all would like to see first. I just decided that I'm gonna do them because I want to tell these stories, so I'm gonna do all of them. So this first video, as you can tell by the title, is when I found my little boot thing with another girl in his bed. So just a small snippet of a background. The boy that I was involved with at the time of this story was somebody who we're gonna call Tyrone. And he was somebody that I knew from a while back. We met in middle school, we hung out, we dated for 2 months. And then we broke up, never stopped talking, we're always friends. We had a little history going on, enough for me to have cause to feel the way I felt in said situation. So senior year of high school, he was telling me about this girlfriend that it wasn't a girlfriend yet, but this girl that he was planning to make his girlfriend. And they ended up becoming boyfriend and girlfriend when we went to college. And when we got to college, they broke up not too long after because of some issues they was having. But you know, all throughout that process, I was there for him. Like, he would ask me for some advice about things that she was doing, and I'd be like, no, give her a chance, give her a chance to explain herself. You know how things can be sometimes, XYZ. Like, I was all for it. I was on her side, all that. So it wasn't even like that in a way, like, oh, just break up with the girl. You know, I was trying to give her outs, make the outs obvious to him, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, but that's not even a part of the story. But I just want y'all to understand like what type of friend and what type of relationship we had. So they break up, and then, you know, that's when I get back into the picture, into the, you know, kind of more intimate role. So him and I start hanging out. I start coming over. I started spending the night, a few nights out the week, you know, all that. It was peaches and cream. Fast forward to when this particular story really begins. Me and two of my friends, who we're gonna call One Ruby and One Rose. Yes, One Ruby and One Rose. I don't know what these names, y'all. Like, to be honest, the names I'm gonna pick really have no relation to anything. Like, I'm just pulling it right out, you know. So Ruby and Rose were the two girls that I was hanging out with at the time. And one particular night, we were supposed to go to a house party or something that wasn't too far from the dorms that they stayed in, because we stayed in different dorms. And yeah, we were gonna walk to this house party, and you know, plan was to turn up, get loose. But we walked over there, and it seemed like nothing was popping, so we were just stuck. We were like, so what are we gonna do for the rest of the night? So one of the girls, I don't remember which one, had mentioned that they wanted to, like, they wished that somebody had a house that we could go to just chill at. So I was like, oh wait, we're gonna call the boy Tyrone. I was like, okay, babe, Tyrone has a house. So me being, you know, the one with the hookup, I was like, y'all, let me call him. Would y'all want to go to his house? We could just go and watch movies and chill, whatever. So I was like, they were all for it. You know, we were happy, we were ready to do that. So they came and picked us up. But I think that was the first time we hanged out, the first time we ever hung out as a group. And I think we hung out maybe a few more times before this incident, but it wasn't that many times. It was like the third time we hung out. Because when I tell you, after this incident, I cut that shit loose. I cut it off. But one day we decided that we wanted to match with the two boys that were living at the house, which was Tyrone and his friend. So if y'all don't know what match means, then you just ain't gonna know. Look it up, something, but I don't want to get into it. So we were supposed to go over to hang out and match. And while I was telling Tyrone of these plans, he was like, okay, cool, we can do that. But he was mentioning to me that he was gonna have a girl over studying. And the girl that he told me it was somebody that I knew from when we lived back in our hometown. She was I mean, there's nothing significant really about her. She went to the same middle school as us, and I had a few classes with her. And I mean, people knew her. I knew her. We weren't never friends like that or nothing, but you know, I've spoken to her once or twice before, probably. So I was like, oh, okay, cool. You know, I'm thinking we're gonna be there. It'll be a nice little surprise to see somebody from my school. So yeah, and at the time, obviously, we were not boyfriend and girlfriend, but we did have some relations going on. So we did have some type of relation going on at the time. So I told the girls about it, and we were like, okay, cool, we're gonna go and, you know, do what we usually do and match. So the time comes, and Tyrone and his friend pick us up. It wasn't Tyrone's car, it was his friend's, but they rode together to come pick us up. And not that it was relevant enough that much, but Tyrone's friend had a crush on my friend Ruby. So we pull up to the place and we walk to the apartment. And keeping in mind, I'm thinking when I walk in, I'm gonna see this girl and we're just gonna be like, hey, what's up? What's good? Whatever. So just to give you guys this perspective as well, the way the room was set up, well, the apartment was set up, it was like a main area, and then on either side of the area were doors to the bedrooms. It was a 4-bedroom, I think. It was a 4 or 3. It was either 4 or 3, but it's not that important. And the kitchen was also in that main area, and at the end of it was like a porch door. So Tyrone's bedroom door was towards the back by the porch door, and this is where they had all their like living room stuff. They had 2 couches, one that went this way, one that went this way, and one that went this way. So this one would be the one along the wall, and this was the one that would be closest to the patio door, but also right in front of Tyrone's bedroom door. So usually when we walk in, us girls would sit in this particular order. Rose would be at the end of the couch facing Tyrone's bedroom, so she could see like straight into his bedroom if she wanted to like be all peeping up in there. Ruby would sit right next to her, and then I would sit on the next couch next to her. Then Tyrone would sit next to me, and his friend would sit next to him. So when we came in, we sat in that order. Mind you, girl that is supposed to be here studying is nowhere to be seen. And honestly, at that point, I don't even know what I was thinking, because I'm pretty sure I would have noticed, been like, so where's she at? But maybe I thought she was just in the bathroom or something. Like, we just happened to come when she was peeing, you know? So, so my 2 friends sit down and I sit down, and where I'm at, I can't see into the bedroom, but I can see that the door is open and he has this red light on that he always has on. So my 2 friends sit down, and before like anything can even happen, they're like, oh, and I'm like, what? And they're like not telling me because the boys are sitting right next to us. But eventually the boys get up to go, you know, set up the movie or set up whatever it is that we were about to do. And they're like, Kayla, there's a girl in there. And I'm like, oh, really? So I'm just like, oh yeah, that's supposed to be the girl. But then they tell me that she's in the bed. And I'm just like, she's in the bed? And they proceed to tell me that she's under the covers. And I'm like, she's under the covers? And I'm just like trying to put 2 and 3 and 5 together, because I'm like, she's supposed to be here studying. Knew I was coming over here. He knows we're involved with each other, but yet she's in the bed and she's under the covers. So none of these are added up, because I'm like, I know he's not that stupid, you know? And I know it's like, I mean, I don't know, maybe he is. That's what I'm thinking, right? I kid you not, us 3 were sitting there making the funniest noises. Like, we're having a conversation, but it's a conversation with no end to it. Like, we're just like, oh really? Oh, word. Oh, so that's what we're doing now? So that's what we're doing now. Between the 3 of us, that's literally all we were saying. So the boys are hearing us talking and saying these things that make no sense, obviously, to them anyway. And they're just like, okay. So Tyrone is like, are y'all all right? And I'm like, oh yeah, I'm fine. Because I'm deciding to not be petty, okay? Now, mind you, throughout all this time, maybe it's been like another 15 minutes, the girl has not come out the room. And she doesn't come out the room for a good amount of time. So she's just the mystery girl in the room, right? Even though I know who she is. So he goes into the room, and I hear them exchange some words and some little giggles, and I'm just like, so he really gonna pretend like we don't know she's in there? Like, I'm just like, is he for real right now? Like, this does not seem wrong to him at all. And that's the thing I don't understand about some young men. It really seems like they have no type of common sense. I'm just like, you think that's okay? Like, you wouldn't think that some issue would arise from something like this? Like, you invite the girl that you are, involved with over while there's another girl in your bed, regardless if y'all were studying or not. Like, that doesn't seem a little off to you? We were sitting there for a while, and it was like a little repeat of that. Me trying not to be petty, but me and my friends making all these noises, and then him looking at us crazy, then going in the room, saying some shit to her, giggles, come back out, yet to see the girl, right? So eventually we get ready to match, and we move to another table that was a little farther away from his particular door. So at this point, I still haven't said anything, like obvious as to like what the heck is going on, but we're still like, that is so crazy. So I'm like looking, me and Ruby are like, that is so crazy, isn't it? Like, can you believe that? Me and Rose are like, girl, what? Like, are they stupid? And we're talking about them like right in front of them, and this is Tyrone and his friend. So I feel like after a while they kind of caught the drift, because then Tyrone goes back into the room, and they exchange some more words again. And when he comes back out, I'm like, so Tyrone, she was not gonna come and say hi or nothing? Like, and mind you, at this point it's probably like 1 o'clock in the morning. He's like, oh, okay. So he goes in the room, and he said something to her, they chuckle, whatever, and then she finally comes out. So just to name this girl for purpose of the story, we're gonna call her Peaches, okay? So mind you, I have nothing against Peaches at all. Like, she didn't know what the hell was going on, I'll give her that, but he knew what the fuck was going on. So she finally comes out, and she's like, hey guys, and I'm like, hey Peaches, I don't know if you remember me. Like, I was being so nice. I was like, hey Peaches, I don't know if you remember me, but we were in class. And she's like, oh yeah, I remember you. And I'm like, hey girl, hey. And like, oh, that was an ugly face. But I introduced her to my two friends, and now she's into makeup, right? So one of my friends that was there was into makeup too, so they were like, oh yeah, I do makeup too, and blah blah blah. So then we're just like, okay, nice seeing you. And then she goes back into the room. But and it's funny too, because when she came out, she was all like, oh hi guys, and I'm just like, oh yeah, nice nap. That's what it was. When she goes back to the room, we're just all sitting there like, so me and my friends are looking at him like, really? And he's like, what? And I'm like, really, Tyrone? You talking about what? And you don't see nothing wrong with that? And then his friend had the nerve to pipe up, in which I was like, you just had nothing even to say, because the girl you're involved with is doing something very similar. Like, and you having a fit. I probably shouldn't have said that, but I mean, I didn't say it to him, but I probably shouldn't have said that on this video. But it's all dead and gone. Who gives a crap? Yeah, he was all like, Tyrone's friends are like, don't be salty. Don't be salty. And I'm just like, what the fuck you mean don't be salty? Like, I have every right to be upset and salty. Tyrone, like, why is she in your bed? And he was like, oh, because she said she was tired. So, I mean, he don't really talk like that, but that's my voice I do for boys, because I'm just like, you sound stupid. And he was like, oh, she said she was tired, so, I told her she could lay down. And I'm just like, what the fuck? Like, I mean, okay, granted, she said she was tired, but you knew I was coming over. Like, if I wasn't to come over and I never would have known, then whatever, what the hell can I do? I wouldn't have known. But I'm coming over, and I'm gonna see that there's a girl in your bed, regardless of if something happened or not. It just looks bad. And I'm thinking to myself, you couldn't have, like, gave her a blanket and let her lay on the couch or something? Like, she could have laid in the oven, on the kitchen counter. I do not care, but why did you have to let her get all up under the covers in the bed? It's past 12 o'clock at night. It's about to be 2 in the morning. Like, you know, it just looks terrible. And he just did not comprehend that. And he was just sitting there like, what? What? But me and my friends was just looking at him like, is he serious? And of course, his little friend on the side, his little pet chihuahua, was all like, don't be mad. Don't be salty. Nigga, I'm gonna be salty if I want to be salty, okay? Till I decide I don't want to be salty no more. I don't even remember if we said anything else about it, but I'm gonna tell y'all, we were being real petty. But it doesn't stop there. So, it was getting real late, and I was at this point, I was just fed up because I'm like, is he fucking serious? Like, this boy is either does not give a crap about me and my feelings, or he's just that delusional. So he was like, we were ready to go. I was like, I'm ready to go. And usually I would have slept over and he would just drop my friends off, but I was just like, the girl was still in there when and it was like 2 a.m. and I'm just like, I'm not about to stay here, what the heck. So, and he didn't ask me, he didn't like say anything like, oh, she's about to leave or whatever. We end up leaving before the girl does, so that also says a lot to me in this situation. So we end up leaving before the girl does, and I'm just like, okay, peace out, right? I'm being like super like cold, you know. I would have hugged him, but I didn't hug him, and which, you know, it ain't doing shit, but that's just how I felt. So I go to my room, and later on he texts me, he's like, oh, why didn't you want to sleep over? What do you mean, why did I want to sleep over? There's a girl in your bed past 2 a.m. and you did not let me know if she was leaving or not. And even if you did, like, at that point, I'm still thinking, what the heck is wrong with you? Like, what? I tell him exactly that. I'm like, are you serious? There's a girl in your bed. And he's like, I just took her home. So he thinks of it, he thinks it's funny for himself to take a video of the apartment showing that she's gone, to show me, because he thought I wasn't gonna believe him. And I'm just like, okay, thanks for that, but honestly and truly, if I was really as crazy as you claim for me to have been, I would have assumed that she was in the fucking closet or something. Like, I don't care, you know. Like, well, open the closet then, look out on the balcony. She not out there on the balcony, you hiding her in the balcony or something, right? So the next night, no, it wasn't the next night. I think it was maybe like 2 days went by, and I was just ignoring him because I was just like, what the hell is wrong with you? And I decided to go back over because I just felt like I didn't express why I was so upset, even though I feel like it was pretty obvious. But, you know, some of these boys just need a little bit more explanation, I guess. So, and I'm the type of person, I just like to explain myself. So I decided that I was going to go over there, and I was going to let me have a piece of my mind. You know, I went over there, and, you know, that's not exactly how it went, but I ended up spending the night. But then the next morning, I was laying next to him, and I was just like, I can't deal with that, because that just was not cool. So I'm like, Tyrone, do you know why I'm upset? And he was like, yeah, I guess. But he basically was telling me that he felt like there was no reason for me to be upset because they weren't doing anything and they were just studying, and I knew that they were just studying, and he didn't know what he wanted, he didn't know what I wanted him to do about her, at telling him that she was tired. And I told him what I was thinking the first time, like, I mean, Tyrone, you could have just told the girl to lay on the fucking couch or something and gave her a sheet. Like, I don't understand, you know? So I was telling him that, and he just was not seeing what I was saying. And at one point during the argument, like, mind you all, we're still laying next to each other, we're like this. At one point in the argument, he was like, but you're not my girl though. So I just had to like stop mid-sentence, and I looked at him and I said, that's how you feel? Cool. So I just sat there in silence, and I just stopped talking. I stopped talking, and I told him that I was ready to go home so he could call the fucking Uber and he could send me home, because he didn't have a car at the time. So he was like not flying look at me, I'm talking about flying me out there. He was driving me out to see him and driving me back to go home. At that point, I was just like, okay. And that's the thing that I cannot stand when young men say that, because they're like, okay, yes, I know that. It is a fact that I'm not your girlfriend, but you're using it as a jab to like make me upset. And that's when I don't appreciate that, because it's like, okay, like what the hell does that have to do with anything? Like, I understand I'm not your girl, but we are in some type of relationship. It's not an official one, but we have relations, and I deserve some type of respect. But his argument was that, I'm not a girlfriend, and if I was his girlfriend, she wouldn't have been over there. But I'm just like, you're so stupid, because girlfriend or not, like, who does that? Like, you're not a pimp. You don't get bitches and hoes to just be like, oh yeah, this is my bitch number one, meet bitch number two. He says nothing was going on between them, and I believe that for the most part. I mean, I don't really care at this point, but I believed it for the most part. But I was just like, you're stupid. Like, you're dumb. You're dumb. I'm sure any sane young man could see the issue with that. And then he was trying to say too that his friends were like on his side. I'm like, okay, obviously they're gonna be on your side because they're your friends, and they're gonna agree with whatever you say. And your friends are retarded on top of that. So let's not even get into that. But I mean, I'm pretty sure the only friend that he was talking about was the one that was there that night, talking about, don't be salty, don't be mad, don't be salty. Like, you don't be salty, okay? Because you feeling kind of salty that your girl's doing you very similarly, but she's not very apologetic about it. I should stop talking about that. I'm sorry, y'all. After that, we just had a huge fight about it, and that caused us to end the relationship that we had going on. And on top of that, there was some foolishness that started going on with the ex-girlfriend who became the girlfriend again. And that's a whole nother story for a whole nother time. So that was pretty much what happened that night. I hope you guys liked that story time. I don't know if I'm a good storyteller or not, so I don't know if, the juiciness and the stress that I felt came across. But I'm pretty sure if any other female was done wrong like that, you understand where I was coming from, because that was not cool. Not cool, Tyrone. Not cool.